everyone. I'm Matthew Rotella, and welcome to the magical world of databending with Audacity. And so I'm going to show you a few techniques to do some stuff today, and might as well get started. So, you start with Audacity, open her up, and then we're going to import, and then we're going to choose raw data, and then you're going to select your file. Generally, anything uncompressed will work, but I have like PNGs work and worked with TIFFs and stuff like that. Uh, and You can work with uncompressed AVIs. We'll get into that a little bit later. But bitmaps, so .bmps, tend to be the most stable, which you can make those by just going in to like Photoshop or any number of programs and just hitting like save as BMP. Simple as that. Anywho, yeah, importing the BMP as raw data into Audacity. Now, you're going to be greeted with this screen, this boy right here, and then you're going to want to choose either encoding is one of the most important ones, and you're going to want to choose either ULAW or ALAW. They're both telecommunications compression encoders, or not compression encoders necessarily, but they're made to increase the like signal to noise ratio and deal with as some sort of like truncating errors and such that can occur during transmissions and whatnot. If you want to see like the compression algorithms for them, then you can just go on the internet. They have those. And then no endianness, or you could do little endianness, but you can have a little variation here. But I usually just go with no endianness just to be safe and get some more stable results that way. So now, anyway, we have our lava lamp planet .bmp. That's going to be the image I'm going to be using. It's just a concept image that I had for my project. And basically, what has now happened is the raw data has been laid out as like array samples. So each like sample of audio information in this boy represents a line of pixels in your image going from top to bottom. So the first sample in your audio data is going to be your first array of pixels at the top. And now from here, you can just highlight any amount of data and manipulate it. So I'm going to manipulate this chunk so you can see how it affects just parts of the image at a time. And I'll just apply an echo to it because that usually gets some pretty crazy results, and I'll just hit OK, give it to me. Alright, so now it's applied the effect. That's pretty dang simple. And now you're going to want to export your audio as whatever you put it in as. So if you selected ULAW, you're going to put it in. You're going to export it as ULAW. If you selected ALAW, you're going to want to export it as ALAW. So when you export it as ALAW, you're going to want it to say raw headerless, but you're going to want to put in whatever image format you want up at the top here. So I'll put in an underscore B to signify that it is a bent image, and then a dot BMP. So I'll just keep it the same, but if you want, like, I don't know, I'll put it as a PNG just so you can show that you can convert images using this if it pleases you. And then it's going to greet you with some screens like, yo dude, don't you know that you're not supposed to export things like that? And I'm like, dude, I know. And then you get crazy effects like so. And that's pretty much all it is. That's like a basic bend. But you can do lots of things. So like besides doing that, you can also like file and then give me edit file new. Oh jeez, that's not what I went. Pardon me. Import. And then you can like put things on top of each other. You can do it with different images, or I'll just do it with the same image in this case. And then same thing, just import as ALA, no ND in this, and bibbity boppity. And then one thing that you can do is you can do like edits to multiple tracks at a time. Like you can bend image sequences this way by importing one image at a time, which is arduous, but I've found some programs that let you batch import things, like that are also audio editing programs, like OSIN Audio right here, but you can't batch export in that, and with Audacity you have the opposite problem where you can't batch import, but you can export multiple. Anywho, so I can just get like a chunk of this second guy and move him around, and then this would be a different effect used by like mixing down tracks. So we'll say v2 dot bmp and save, and it's like, dude, don't do it. I'm like, I want it. And I'm like, of course I know that the mono track will be exported into a single file, and now we should have a result. Right, that's pretty similar result to the echo, which makes sense since, you know, the echo would be like repeating the data over top of itself. So that's what I essentially did here again. And that's one of the things that's nice about data bending, is that as you get to learn the hang of it, that's quite a sentence, but as you get to learn the hang of it, the results are somewhat predictable. Wow, I got a pretty similar chunk of data, but you can see how it's like another one of itself, like over top of itself with the mixed down one as opposed to just the echo. But they both get pretty crazy results. And the trick to having your bends come out like stable each time is you don't usually want to edit the first or the last pixel. You can do the last pixel sometimes, but usually not the first one. And a fade out can be a fun one to do if you want to edit like a whole thing, because you know it doesn't affect the last one. And you know, you can just apply your fade out, file, export, lather, rinse, repeat, and .bmp. And okay, and give this me baby, and then you just see what you get. Anyhow, no need to do any more of that, but interestingly enough, you can also data bend video files. And the only video files that I know of that you can data bend them are uncompressed AVI files. So you can get them a number of ways. I found this freeware called MPEG Stream Clip. It's a pretty powerful piece of freeware. And then this is like an MOV I have in here. And you can use this to make uncompressed AVIs. So I can say like export to other formats, and then up in here I can what am I doing? Or pardon me, export to AVI, and then you would pick up here Apple BMP, and that would give you the uncompressed AVI that you desire. You can also get them using like QuickTime Player 7 is a good way to get them too, though the uncompressed AVI codec won't be available to you without doing a little bit of editing to it. So let me just pardon me. Now, yeah, by default it won't have it available. Now I haven't rightly purchased QuickTime Player 7, but so I won't be able to show you how that works, but I can show you how to unlock the codec. And I just, looked some stuff up online, and then I eventually found it. And what you can do is you would want to take this one, Qt defaults write legacy video codecs Apple none enabled, and you can just like copy and paste that boy into your terminal, and it'd say Apple none has now been enabled, and you'd be able to export uncompressed AVIs after that point. And then you can bring those into Audacity, and I won't be doing that live in front of you because as they tend to be gigabytes large, and they end up being audio files that are like 24 hours long of just raw data, but the data bending process is the same, and wait, I can show you some results from things that I have done in the past. So, oh my, okay. So, let me see here. Anywho, I think just for my MOV of it doesn't matter. I'll just show you this. It'll probably play off my hard drive fine enough. Yeah. So like, I had this video that I made, and then I made a bunch of different data bends of it. So like, just the main difference between data bending still images and data bending video is that when you data bend video, the layered sample, the data samples in Audacity represent like more so frames than they do like lines of pixels. And then like, for example, I just, same as what I did before, I applied an echo to it, and then I got this result, and then you can do all sorts of things. And yeah, and let's see, what's this one? Probably won't play. Oh, yeah. Okay, and this is probably used, well, it's not playing too well because it's off an external drive and it's 3 gigabytes large. But you get effects like this with this like kind of grayscale with all these outlines and craziness by I use like a bass boost for that, and it basically like overcharges the pixel values and whatever, overdrive, whatever, making noises. Anywho, you can also do, and then if you like data bend, like still images, here, I imported them one at a time and then applied a bend to all of them all at the same time, and then exported. Yeah, so then I had my bent image sequence, which I then just turned into this, which isn't much because it's only 13 frames. But stop, no more, pause. Ugh. Okay. Anywho, and you can see that since like each frame got the same thing applied to it, the bend kind of stays like mapped to the pixels more or less, which is interesting. Whereas you get much different results when you bend the video itself, which I'd say I described it best, I'd say, by saying that with doing it the image sequence way, the video kind of like moves through the effect of the bend, where bending the video makes like the effect of the bend move through the video. I don't know if that makes sense instantly to you, but I'd say it's probably the best way I can describe it. Now, you can also get some interesting effects from data bending by like splitting out images into their various color channels and then data bending individual color channels and then recompiling them in Photoshop, and you can get some like green screen-esque, like some keying effects, doing that. And then, yeah, some like, chroma keying stuff. And yeah, you just like recompile them in whatever program you want. So like you put all the image, all the color channels back together in Photoshop or what have you. And then there's also one more way that I'll show you to do some data bending. It's not as reliable. As a matter of fact, it's like as unpredictable as it can get, so it's not as useful, but it is interesting. So you can just export it instead of giving it. So all that's happened here is this is just the straight bitmap brought in, and then I'm just exporting it as raw data. And so I'll just put _R, and save it out, and then good to go. And then so I have it raw. Then I'll say open with other. And then I can just open this with text edit. And then you can just go into the data and you can just like shove some letters into your man. And then you just say file, save. And then we can bring that, pardon me, into Audacity. And file, import raw data, give it to me, and then same parameters as always. You can just leave all this stuff the same. And then that should be that manipulated raw data that I had. And then we'll just export that out as .bmp. And save. Yes, yes. Give it to me, baby. And then, oh, that's not very exciting. But I got some interesting ones earlier when I was doing my test Yeah, which I suppose that's the drawback, is that you might not get very exciting results. Oh, this is where I got like just a chunk of the data and just reversed it, and I got that effect. Oh, this is one one of the ones I did earlier by just throwing. I think I just threw a single A somewhere into the image data, and then this is what happened. That's neat. Not really much more to it than that. So yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's a intro into the world of data bending. Have fun.